Few names in the history of professional football carry the same weight as Bill Belichick. For more than 2 decades, he was the architect of a dynasty, the face of ruthless preparation, and the coach every opponent feared on Sunday afternoons. That's why the news that Belichick was not selected for the Pro Football Hall of Fame on his first opportunity landed like a thunderbolt across the NFL world. According to CBS Sports, Belichick's failure to receive enough votes for immediate induction has quickly become one of the most controversial Hall of Fame decisions in recent memory, and one that raises uncomfortable questions about how greatness is measured, remembered, and judged. To understand why the reaction has been so fierce, you have to understand the scale of Belichick's legacy. Belichick didn't just win games. He reshaped modern football. As head coach of the New England Patriots, he led the franchise to 6 Super Bowl championships, the most by any head coach in NFL history. Add 2 more Super Bowl rings earned as the defensive coordinator of the New York Giants, and Belichick's fingerprint is on nearly a quarter of all Super Bowls played during his coaching career. His teams were known for adaptability. One year they would dominate through the air, the next they would grind opponents down with defense and situational football. Belichick's ability to neutralize star players, exploit matchups, and reinvent his roster year after year became the gold standard for coaching excellence. Statistically, the resume is overwhelming. He ranks near the top in total wins, playoff victories, and conference championships, and he presided over one of the longest sustained periods of success any professional sports franchise has ever seen. For many fans and analysts, this made Belichick's first ballot induction feel inevitable, almost ceremonial. That's why what happened next felt so jarring. CBS Sports reported that Belichick failed to secure the required number of votes from the Hall of Fame Selection Committee in his first year of eligibility. While he was not rejected outright, he remains eligible in future years. The absence of a first ballot selection sent shockwaves through the league. First ballot status isn't just symbolic. It's often seen as a marker reserved for figures whose greatness is so undeniable that debate feels unnecessary. For a coach of Belichick's stature to fall short suggested that something deeper was at play. And that's where the controversy truly begins. One of the central themes explored by CBS Sports is the lingering impact of the Patriots controversies, particularly Spygate and Deflategate. While the NFL officially punished the Patriots and moved on, those scandals never fully disappeared from public memory. For some Hall of Fame voters, they remain an uncomfortable part of Belichick's legacy. Critics argue that the perception of rule bending, whether fair or exaggerated, may have influenced voters who view the Hall of Fame as a moral as well as competitive institution. Supporters, however, see this reasoning as deeply flawed. They point out that the Hall already includes figures connected to far more severe controversies and argue that selectively holding Belichick to a higher standard reflects inconsistency rather than principle. Another factor quietly resurfacing is a familiar argument. Was Belichick great on his own, or was he elevated by Tom Brady? Despite years of evidence to the contrary, some critics continue to frame Belichick as a beneficiary of elite quarterback play rather than the mastermind behind the dynasty. CBS Sports noted that this narrative, though widely disputed, may have subtly influenced certain voters. Ironically, Brady's post-Patriots success has only intensified this debate, even as Belichick's later years in New England became more difficult. For some, recency bias overshadowed decades of dominance. The CBS Sports report also points to a broader shift in how Hall of Fame voters approach induction. Recent voting trends suggest a greater willingness to delay even obvious candidates, possibly to spread out recognition or force deeper discussion. If true, Belichick may have become a victim of timing rather than merit, a symbolic sacrifice to an evolving process that values debate over inevitability. But for many observers, that explanation rings hollow. The reaction from the football community was swift and emotional. Former players, coaches, and analysts openly questioned how the Hall of Fame could justify excluding the most successful coach of the Super Bowl era,